So good morning, Ms. Amelia Harapa. This is Leo Rinday, who will be presenting to you the statistical survey entitled Financial and Learning Adjustment of Students to New Normal. So there were 25 students who took time to answer this survey, which was divided into two parts. The first part is about the personal information of the students, and the second part is about their financial and learning adjustment of the students and their families. So to begin with, we have here the graph of the gender of the students who took the survey. There were 12 male students and 13 female students took the survey, ages from 18 to 26 years old, and majority of them were taking up Bachelor of Science in Accounting Information System from first year to fourth year, and majority were Roman Catholics. For the number of household, we have here the working members represented by the blue bar, ranging from 2 to 10 members with an average of 6 members. And then from the total household members, there were working household members represented by the orange bar, and the yellow bar represented by the number of students per household, and for the unemployed represented by the gray bar, and the dark blue bar represents the out-of-school youth with an average of 1%. For their source of funds, majority of their funds came from their work or business, represented by the blue bar, ranging from 6,000 to 50,000. And there were 4 fortunate families who were receiving cash assistance from the government, such as Porkies, represented by the orange bar. And lastly, there were students who are receiving cash assistance from their scholarship, represented by the gray bar. For their household expenses, represented by the orange bar, ranging from 18,000 to 28,000 with an average of 13,280. And for the change in their student allowance, represented by the blue bar, with an increase of 37.6 pesos. This was during the pandemic. And for the time spent per day on the distance learning, ranging from 4 to 10 hours rather, with an average of 6.24 hours. For the types of distance learning, most of the students, or 84%, prefer the blended learning, and they are receiving or having a high-speed internet connection during the morning. For their platform, for the online meeting, majority or 17 out of 25 students are using the Google Meet. And for the online submission of the thesis and exam, majority of them uses and prefer the Google Classroom. For the tabular result of the survey, we have here the number of households. As we can see, the total is 141 with an average of 5.64. From the total number of households, there were 50 members who are working with an average of 2. There were 32 members who are unemployed or not capable of being employed, or with a weighted mean of 1.28. And there were 61 students with a weighted mean of 2.44, and out-of-school youth of 1 with a weighted mean of 0.04. So their total source of fund, majority came from the worker business with a total amount of 494,000, with an average of 19,760 per household. For the government assistance, there were 5,400 pesos with a weighted mean of 216 pesos. And for their scholarship, averaging 676.67 pesos. The changes in student allowance, there were an increase due to internet connection, and there were a decrease due to their transportation and food allowance of the students. So there were a net increase of 929 pesos with a weighted mean of 37.16 pesos. For their household expenses, averaging 13,380 pesos. For the interpretation of result, from the total number of household members, there were 35% working members, 22% unemployed, 42% were student, and 1% out of school youth. For the resource of fund, majority or 96% came from the worker business, 1% is coming from the government, and 3% from their scholarships. The total household expenses of 65%, it came from the average amount of the household expenses divided by the total sources of fund. So we get that 65% household expenses. Next is for their platforms, majority or 84% wants a blended learning, having a high-speed internet connection during the morning, 64%. And for the virtual meeting platform, they are using the Google Meet, 68%. And then lastly, 56% uses the Google Classroom for their online submission or online quizzes or exam. To conclude, as we can see here, there are different types of platform. So to conclude, majority of the students were able to continue their studies despite this new normal situation that we're currently facing due to pandemic. Their families were also fortunate enough to continue working to provide their family needs. So that would be all. Thank you and stay safe.